Alrighty, y'all. Let's get this going. Peaceful greetings to you all. Namaste, namaste, namaste. Islam, Islam, Islam. I am Brother Hasan Ghazi Obey here in Morocco at Northwestern Maxim. How are you? Guys, welcome to this is the next to last I guess an installment, I guess if someone would say that. But presentation for Clock of Destiny Book 2. We're going to get through about maybe a little over 9.5 pages today. And the next Friday, we will complete Clock of Destiny Book 2 completely by Charles Mosley Bay, right? And then by next Sunday, because this Sunday we have chapter 2 to knock out, I'll be doing that for our Holy Quran devotional countdown. And then next Sunday, it'll be chapter 1. Alrighty. So we'll be complete with all the Clock of Destiny. We will be complete with the Holy Quran devotional countdown also. And then, I'm going to evolve this thing. 7HealStar always is first and foremost something that's a part of my mind that I have shared with many people. However, I'm going to, make a few changes in what I'm presenting for 7HealStar. As you can see, guys, this today makes video number 502. So there's quite a few videos here. I'm even thinking like, should I just do a whole new YouTube channel or what? I'm just kind of really thinking about it. Or should I just do shorts and just post shorts to you guys? You know what I mean? For a bit of time as far as astrology presentations are concerned. I have quite a few ideas. I've been doing quite a bit of studying. I'm very thankful there's a few communities that I'm a part of. When it comes to TUPAC, the Universally Professional Astrology Community, that's my astrology community that not only am I, a part of it, but that's something else that has come from my mindset and sharing with many people. And shout out to the TUPAC members. They're very supportive, and I'm very thankful and grateful, right? Very thankful and grateful. That's where most of the support these past couple of moon cycles have come from. It's come from TUPAC members. I got fingers left over if I was to count those members, at least one finger left over, right? Then the jurisprudence community that I'm a part of, Lawful Living, as always, shout out to Malika and Sunny and all of our Lawful Living loved ones there. Quayne and Linnea and Trinity and Rich Mang and Samaya, all a part of the Amiki Kiriai group. And then, I just recently became a part of a really awesome music engineering community. And so, I'm just really seeing how like things are like, graduating in my life and, just really just in my head, like, okay, I've done quite a bit, for, as far as the Moorish Divine and National Movement is concerned. I would like to be more industrious with the skill sets that I have as far as when it comes to music, as far as, mix engineering and mastering, of course, especially now that I found a community I can be a part of that all speaks on that. When it comes to jurisprudence, putting together, not just, documents, but also, when it comes to our Moorish community, just having meetings or whatever, and just speaking with one another. I know yesterday, usually I've been saying like Thursdays we need to do it. The Thursday previous we met. Yesterday, last night I was kind of just chilling back, just really just absorbing myself more, absorbing more of my loved ones immediately here with me, my beloved mother, mistress, consort, right? Some will say, for those that don't know what that is, it's my wife, if that's how you have to hear it, right? Then also, just really just focusing on the things that I have already. Like, okay, I got this. When it comes to astrology, you got a handle on it, cool. And then I'm going to meet on Saturdays with TUPAC as always, or share whatever needs to be shared at random outside of our Saturdays. And then, Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays, like even after I get off this live today, we have court strategy, meetups. And then on Wednesday is Amici Curiosity. So it's like I find myself every day involved in astrology, jurisprudence, and now just finishing up a 3-day class yesterday with a mixing engineering community, mix and mastering engineering. Really, they do production, mixing and mastering, and just being part of that community and seeing that there are a lot of like minds there. Really, just it felt great. It really felt amazing, right? And to be able to free myself up from experiencing a lot of energy with when beings have imposter syndrome, right? And so to be able to be around people who are sincere and genuine, my brother, the Exalted Cyclops, he's genuine. Like the members of TUPAC that are supported, they're genuine, right? So to even meet, more beings like that and be able to share in the mindset when it comes to jurisprudence at Lawful Living, when it comes to this mixing and mastering community, right, at school. And it's like, man, this is just amazing. And then when it comes to astrology, we're just having a really good time. And I just look forward to really accomplishing more things outside of just the internet. You know what I mean? Really just being able to take my skill set, physically to beings. Doing more events and things of that nature, traveling a bit and being at different events also. So I look forward to seeing you guys. I'm pretty sure, I'll run into you, right? You'll see me wherever on the land. Depends on where I'm going. I'm not huge on saying where I am or where I'm going. You know what I mean? I really don't give my location, but it is what it is. All right, so I said all of that to say just that, like, man, I'm enjoying being able to wrap my mind around that. I have, now my music community that I'm a part of, my astrology community that I'm a part of, and my jurisprudence community that I'm a part of, and ready to just, graduate and blossom and evolve even more, right? So with that being said, guys, what is up with you guys? Mother Sahar says, happy Holy Venus degree to everyone. Happy Holy Venus degree, Mother Sahar. Brother Derek Blash Bay says, happy Holy Venus degree, everyone. Indeed, Brother Derek, happy Holy Venus degree. Jen V and Robert say, happy Holy Venus degree also. Happy Holy Venus degree to you also, Jen V and Robert. Mother Janelle Blashell says, happy Holy Venus degree. Happy Holy Venus degree to you also, Mother Janelle. And Mother Sahar says, congratulations. Gratitude indeed, Mother Sahar. And by the way, with that being said, some of you may have received an email from me this morning about next Thursday. All righty. And next Thursday, as we know, as I'm bringing this up, if you don't know, let's give you guys a reminder. Next Thursday, right? This Thursday that will be coming, right? 7th March 2024 at 6 o'clock post meridian Eastern. That's 1800 hours Eastern, right? Nutrition Fruition with Mother Sahar L. Alrighty, I will be sitting at her feet also, like the rest of us, to be able to hear about this genius pertaining to her journey with nutrition fruition, and and really just sit there and listen to what I'm thinking is just the strategies in having a life where you can preserve oneself. accordingly. And so I would like to see you guys show up. There's no set number for the donation. However, guys, donate respectfully, show up and show out. I know I sent an email to well over 100 some odd email, addresses, so to speak. So many, like over 100 email contacts just this morning alone. So you guys show up and be prepared to see this presentation. You guys really don't want to miss it. Like I said, I know Mother Sahar's story from being able to be in contact with her for about the past, I would say it's going on about 8 years of being in contact with Mother Sahar, honestly, if not 7 years. And you guys will really want to hear her journey. Like, I really think she is more than qualified to speak on nutrition fruition. And you guys seen I've been sharing this. It's a post on my Instagram also. I think I'm going to post it, if I haven't yet, on Facebook. I'm going to kind of just put it all in different communities. If I haven't, I thought I did, but if I haven't, I'll make sure I will. And TikTok's such a different world or whatever, but I'll just put it up there just to put it out there to see who would like to show up. All righty. And Mother Sahar says, indeed, invest in one's health. Yeah, guys, you're not gonna be disappointed. So I look forward to Thursday. It's going to be Thursday night at 6 p.m. Eastern. That's 5 p.m. Central. That is 3 p.m. Pacific. All right. So show up, show out. Those of you that are mountain timing it, I guess that would be 4 mountain time for you guys. All right. So with that being said, let us get started. Going to do our invocation in terms of Moorish American prayer here on pages 48 and 49. It's what's in front of you for the Moorish Holy Temple of Science Administrative Functions. All righty. Here's a picture, handsomely standing due guard in his Moorish Shuris Fez, the Prophet Noble Ali, the founder of the Moorish Science Temple of America, because the Moorish Holy Temple of Science adopted as its corporate name, right? The civic organization Moorish Holy Temple of Science adopted as its corporate name Moorish Science Temple of America, according to a Religious Corporation Act affidavit, in order to assist in redeeming the minds of those misclassified as Negro, Black, colored at that time. And in these days, some will say African American or whatever, and also at that time too, people were being called Indian and they were not, even though, you've seen it shared here on 7HealStar and it's read in CM Bay's work that the quote unquote white people are the actual Indians. And that is one of many terms, along with Negro, Black, and colored, that are a crime against humanity. And I trust that the people will really get this information themselves and really see it. It would be good to really see a much larger community that's really interested in, their own salvation and really going in deep with the metaphysics so that they can have a really calm mind. It's not too deep, but to, be committed to the metaphysics and knowing it. All right. So let's do our invocation in, turn to Moorish American prayer. We're going to extend all 5 appendages on the left hand, just the index and middle on the right. And we're going to hold our hands like this while we stand on a 45-degree angle, like Prophet Noble Ali's feet there. And have our feet on a 45-degree angle while we're facing east, which metaphysically denotes going within, right? East is within. And you can repeat after me either aloud or in your heart. Islam. Allah, the Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day. Through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. All righty, guys. Yes, for me, that's east. All right, not turning my back to you. I'm just facing directional east. All right. So, with that being said, 2 letters be read in every meeting. All righty. The following is a letter written by Prophet Noble Drew Ali on the 18th day of January 1928, Anno Domini. He commanded that it be read before every meeting. Moor Temple of America, Home Office, 3603 Indiana Avenue, Noble Drew Ali, founder, Chicago, Illinois, January 18th, 1929. To be proclaimed in every meeting. Dear brother, Islam, I am glad to know that I have few faithful Moors among you all, and I desire for them to know the truth and the divine truth. There is a host of jealousy, quote unquote, about me and the movement now by the same people of our side of the nation that claim it was only a joke and unreal. But now, since they have found out from the government officials and the nations of the earth that this is the only sole foundation that all Asiatics must depend upon for their earthly salvation as an American citizen, they are working every scheme that they can to disqualify me so they themselves may take charge of the situation. All these things, I know I have notified all these things to you long ago in the past. It is through the faithful Moors that contribute to the movement and uplifting funds. The ones that paid their divine respect to me and the movement will be remembered. That is why I'm calling upon all faithful Moors to increase their faithfulness to me, your prophet, and your divine Moorish movement. I need finance and I need it bad. Never before have I needed finances badly as I do at present, that I may shove aside the discord that is facing the nation. It all comes through jealousy because of my, quote, fame and nobility, end quote, period. The nations of the world will not recognize the movement without me, the prophet, being the head. It has been proven by my work in which I have performed in the last few months, because I was at the governor's inauguration to represent the Moorish Divine and National Movement, and I will be at the inauguration of President Hoover for the same cause, Noble Drew Ali. Second letter to be read in every meeting is coming from the Moorish literature, excerpts from the Moorish Guide newspaper. See on page 12, handsomely standing due guard again in his Moorish Sharif Fez and Abbas Prophet Noble Drew Ali. On page 13 here, divine warning by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Prophet warns all Muslim governors in order to read proclamation at each meeting. I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical agitating speeches while at work, in their homes, or on the streets. It's the internet included. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequence. We'll love truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any member or group of members who hold malicious feelings towards the temple of the prophet or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the laws laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their card and button, cease wearing their turban and fez, and return to the state where the prophet found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet Noble Drew Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet, therefore, is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet in the temple. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways, by order of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. All righty, guys, we're about to knock out about 9 2/3 pages, right? Now we're going to enjoy this. And if anything gets, illegible, I can just grab my Clock of Destiny book 2 right here behind me, and I will read from that and even share, turn the camera around and share so you guys can see it that way, right? The great planet Saturn is where we are going to, start. The great planet Saturn. The great planet Saturn is the schoolmaster of the universe, Earth. Right? Universe. The universe is Earth. Look at that. So when it's written like that, that's what's being said. Thus, Saturn governs the products of the Earth, economics, restriction, sorrow, and the destiny of mankind, and the rise and fall of nations. It requires 30 years for Saturn to pass through the 12 signs of the zodiac and 360 years to complete his major revolutions of the great walls of the zodiac, thus 360 years of Saturn. Major revolutions of the great walls of the zodiac subtracted from 1965 equals 1605, the era which began with Moorish astrologers who predicted the rise and fall of nation, which had its beginning with the Dutch pirate priests of the Habsburg Legion's Iron Cross Society of Brazil, South America, who I guess some of you guys will call Christian Crusaders and stuff like that, right? In 1935, the planet Saturn entered the sign Aries and passed through the 6 signs of the East Gate and the North Gate of the zodiac from 1935 to 1950. That's 15 years, right? Because it says 30 years, right? So half of the zodiac is 15 years. From 1935 to 1950, November 21st, and crossed the equator into the sign Libra in Brazil, South America, which is the first sign of the West Gate of the zodiac. Thus, from here in Brazil, Saturn will pass through the 3 signs of the West Gate during the next 7 years from 1950 to 1957. Then Saturn will enter the sign Capricorn, the first sign of the South Gate of the universe, and pass through the 3 signs of the South Gate by 1965. Here, the great planet Saturn will have completed its major 360-year revolution of the rise and fall of nations, which had its beginning in 1605 in Brazil, South America, and will end in North America in 1965. The influence of the planets passing through the 12 signs of the walls of the zodiac has never told a lie. The influence of the planets passing through the 12 signs of the walls of the zodiac has never told a lie. It requires 1,440 years of Saturn to complete 4 major revolutions of 360 years each. Thus, 1,440 years ago, in the pyramid of Yucatan in Mexico, the scientists of the Moorish nation established the new era of Islam geometry and their supreme process of scientific experimentation with electronics. Y'all see that, right? I'm gonna read that again. Thus, 1,440 years ago, in the pyramid of Yucatan in Mexico, the scientists of the Moorish nation established the new era of Islam geometry and their supreme process of scientific experimentation with electronics. Like, this electronic stuff is not new. The law of attraction involving plant life and animal and human beings, from which resulted the people of the red or ruddy shade of skin with long blonde hair and the new era of medical science, surgery, and blood banks. So it's letting you know about the grafting of people that took place. And so again, we were here before grafting, a process which brought, or grafting. And grafting is a process where we brought about the pale skin. Or as he says here, the people of red or ruddy shade of skin with long blonde hair. Nothing new under the sun, Mother Sahar says, indeed. The name of the head scientists of the Moorish nation during that era is Yaqub, which means in English, Jacob. Here was the beginning of the 12 tribes of humanity and global amalgamation to manifest the different colors or shades of the human skin and the conversion of the masses of humanity into caste systems so as to manifest a different peoples from each group of the castes. A group of people with the same shade of skin and hair put into a caste so as to prevent them from conducting sexual relationship with one another caste slightly different. Again, like, we gotta really see overall, get out of the political, no, these people ain't us and we ain't them people over there. It's like, when y'all gonna just see like we gotta be responsible. Whether we be responsible for what we did in other bodies and past lives then, or what we need to do about it now coming across this information. Right? Brother Dark Blashby said we always had street lights. I think a lot of stuff that's been shared as so-called history and presented, it's I'm telling you, from what I've studied, like, I get it. I've done a rare thing in these past 10 years. I studied a lot and got a lot of information to the point where I don't have a mindset like most people. I don't believe about things like most people. I don't, believe at all, actually. I just deal with knowledge, which makes me make the decision that when I do get out, around people, to just, one, be quiet, or two, just say what I need to say to either get people to get their hands on the product or service that I provide. Other than that, there's nothing to really talk about unless people are really into what I'm sharing even here. I think I've studied so well and so much that I have to put on a certain voice to seem like I get along with the everyday people for real. You know what I'm saying? Because the intelligent voice turns people off. I think the intelligent voice makes people think I'm being pretentious or fucking phony or some shit. And I know it's not that. I know, you know what I mean? Like, people really got like from their animal husbandry and social engineering, they would much rather deal with the voice of the hood for real. So it's like, all right, instead of speaking to people with the intelligent voice, I can be intelligent with a voice that makes them feel better. You know what I'm saying? And some people might be like, that's phony or that's code switching. Nah, I'm realizing that people only listen to a certain type of tone. So if you ask me, that's wisdom. But again, there's me saying it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I I know a lot and I've studied a lot. You know what I mean? So observing, sentient beings and how they are, it's very few people that I can speak to, on the same level as I'm really thinking inside of me. It's a lot of stuff I have not shared. You know what I'm saying? And when I test certain things with certain people and have conversations, like even when I like jumping people TikToks and stuff, most people, especially like on TikTok, they not ready to be their higher self or intelligent self. Not really. They'll play like it. Most people like hood shit. They like hood ratchet shit. For real, for real. Their color and hair will remain practically the same. Had not the quote unquote white people copied the system of the Moorish nation in 1863, the Union, there would not have been any quote unquote white people on Earth today. Well, since Saturn is the planet of destiny and human evolution, the caste of the quote unquote white peoples is justified of the Union 1863. in order that they might rise, and I want y'all to get that, you know what I mean? That really is this this is just people trying to set themselves apart. And that's why I said this thing has been a family feud. You see the quote unquote white people, which is those red or ruddy skin people's pale skin with the blonde hair, is how CM Bay explains it. And this is not being rude of me to any pale skins that are even viewing, even now or later. We're putting things into perspective. This is not a hate presentation. It never is. All right. It just goes to show that our pale skinned sons and daughters, mimic what it is that we've set. And this is why we need to just do better and set things right. All righty. We're here at in order that they might rise and rule the world and the seven seas for their first time in history. That's why they, quote unquote, white peoples, did what they, did, and trying to separate and make castes white and black. Like, man, wah, wah. During this period of their rulership, they employed injustice against the Moorish descendants, which is true justice owing to the mistreatment of their forefathers by the half-breed cruel Moors. Look at this. Let's read that again. I don't want y'all to miss that. During this period of their rulership, the pale skins rulership, they employed injustice against Moorish descendants, which is true justice owing to the mistreatments of their forefathers by the half-breed cruel Moors. See the family feud? Just, well, y'all peoples did this to my peoples back in the day, so now we're gonna do it for you. Like, there we go. This process of universal justice is referred to as retribution, meaning we, dark-skinned Moorish descendants of the U.S.A. and abroad, have fully reaped the cruel harvest of the seed sown by our forefathers under the influence of the great planet Saturn, the force of justice. And now the caste, quote unquote, white people will have to obey the influence of Saturn against their will, from which will result in the loss of their color or shade of skin forever. That's why I said I'm not being mean, because what we're actually saying is there's a blending back that has to happen now. It can't be prevented. You know what I mean? That marriage license system done by, B.A.R. so that, pale skins and Moors aren't together. That's done, man. So it's gotta happen. And I've always known this. I just know that even when people say, well, why Prophet Noble Drew Ali said don't amalgamate with the pale skinned nations of Europe? To me, it's because if you're out of order and you don't know this history, then you're going to repeat it. You're going to do BS. You're going to create half-breed cruel Moors. It's really simple. Anyway, moving forward. The great planet Saturn is the schoolmaster of the universe and the force of justice who teaches mankind to reason upon right and fear no evil. I am aware of the fact that the contents of this book is hard for the reader to understand, owing to their desire to endeavor to protect the false doctrine which they have been taught to believe. By the time the planet Uranus passes through the sign Cancer and Leo during the next 14 years of the North Gate U.S.A. every living person in the U.S.A. will turn loose that which they have been taught to believe and protect. then the contents of this book will be just right for them to understand and cherish and to endeavor to apply the law of nature. There's so many people who have been holding on to false doctrine, belief system BS that, you know, they only did it as a means of survival foolishly, when really they could have just been honest and just stuck with the universal law as shown in the 12 signs of the zodiac. Period. The great planet Saturn is still the schoolmaster of the universe, who has never failed to make one understand the difference between right and wrong, or the real and unreal, or fictions and facts. Yes, the influences of the great planet Saturn and the revolutionary or radical planet Uranus will make the intellectual masses of the U.S.A. forget all about the fictitious literature or history involving the mythical or fictitious races and nations such as African, Indian, Negro, Egyptian, and the fictitious story of Moses and the plight of the Jews and the myth of Jerusalem and the myth of the birth of Christ by a Holy Virgin Mary. Guys, this is between 1947 and 1952, man, that CM Bay is writing this. And look where we are. It's still, man, it's still people still kind of trying to hold on to these fictions because they're making finances off of people not knowing this. And here I go, continuing, even at times when you guys see me have brothers present with me, because I've taken everything that I've ever had and shared it with people freely, except for those classes when people had asked me to do classes, and I honored people asking me to do classes for an exchange for an elementary tuition. Other than that, guys, we're at this is video 502 of free presentation. Man. And thereby face the facts of the history of the Moabite nation and the Moorish nation and the Amazon Valley South American Franciscan Blonde nation and the Union of Rome in 1863 North America. The quote-unquote white red-skinned people are only 1,000 years old. Subtract 1,000 years subtracted from 1371 equals 371 Moorish calendar year. So all you got to do is add 580. And then you'll have the Gregorian calendar year. All right. So that's why, you know, I even say, like, yeah, that Albion is maybe just a little over 1,070 something years old. I think I've said that to you guys a few times. Like, the Albion is just a little over, like, people with pale skin, just a little over 1,070 years old, maybe. Maybe we're at 1,070 now, if not 1,071. But, however, 580, you know, if we were to add 580 to 1371, right? We bring the 1 down, that's 1. 7 and 8, right? Get you 15, that's 5, carry your 1. 3 and 5 and 1 is 9, right? So it looks like 1958. So at 1958, if I'm calculating that correctly, right? 1371 is 1958. Pardon me, 1951, forgive me. 1951 Moorish calendar year. So that's why I said between 1947 and 1952, CMB is writing this. So 1371 plus 580 is 1951. So that would be 951 when you would see an Albion actually manifest as the quote unquote white red-skinned people. 951. There is no so-called before Christ time for them. Respectfully. That's why I don't care how much older or younger the pale skin is. Those are our sons and daughters. Period. The pale skin is our sons and daughters. For those that can handle that information. Some people, I think, with that information will spontaneously combust because it does not fit their false doctrine narrative. And never forget, this is in the Library of Congress, and this is those Masonic secrets. You know what I'm saying? And most people have to either do some freaky deaky and pay dues stuff to even get, like, you guys are freely getting this. You have eyes to see and ears to hear. Yes, the influences of the great planet Saturn and the radical planet Uranus definitely do not debate and neither argue with the masses of humanity who are relying upon falsehood for their guidance, rather than facts of life, existence, and realities. These two forces of nature, namely Saturn and Uranus, makes humanity yield to realities, life, and existence. Right. Or destroy themselves in their endeavor to evade realities. Now pull off your shoes, and the ground on which you stand is in one whole, holy, universal body. So let us rise and face realities and commune together as one race, the human race, realities or right. The zodiac represents the law of cause and effect. The history of the Moorish nation and the Moorish science of the zodiac has proven that the peoples of the U.S.A. are more overcome by fear than they are hatred. The quote unquote white people are afraid of the revelation, I'm going to say the unvelation, of the Moorish history and science. The unconscious Moors, Negroes, are afraid, because they're falsely called Negroes, and this is who he knows who he's speaking to in 1951, are afraid of God, afraid of truth, afraid of hell, the devil, and quote unquote heaven. Afraid of truth, afraid of one another, and afraid of hell, the devil, and quote unquote heaven. Afraid of one another. Guys, you got to remember, I'm on this for 10 years. Come November this year, it'll be 10 years complete on this, and this stuff has been in my mind. That's why I said this. When I speak to my beloved mother, Mistress Consort, I'm like, babe, I come around people, I'm just gonna be quiet because I don't have that. Oh, you saw that football game? I don't have that. You saw the baseball? You saw the basketball? I don't have. My mind's not there. My mind's not there. My mind is on real community, real unity. And there's so much going along to get along with people who just want to keep living a fictitious false doctrine type of life. And it's like, it's no future in me fronting. Like, so I'm not going to front. I'm just going to be quiet and just be glad that I got my beloved mother, Mistress Consort, and our sons for real. You know what I mean? And if there are any other loved ones out there, you know what I mean? that are sincere about being a loved one and not just trying to be on some flippantness. I'm open arms to that, including other little ones that I've helped to make. And it's got to be based in love. It's got to be based in humanity and not based in the false doctrine and based in the uncivilized things that are done with federal, state, and local statutes and ordinances, because that's still a part of that Saturnian justice for those that are not thinking with the mindset pertaining to their ancient foremothers and forefathers, so that their days are long upon the earth. The peoples of the world do not really hate one another. The trouble is fear and ignorance. The star and crescent, or the flag with the moon and star in the center, is that of the living Moorish nation of North America, referred to as Negroes. And it's funny too, because one of the major astrological societies that I'm a part of, in their bylaws, at the at the top right hand corner is that flag. And I noticed, I was like, yo, look at this. They know what's up. Like these people know what's up, especially the Albions. They know this history, man. That's why I said, man, like, I trust y'all hear what's really being said in this book. What's CMB say on that last page? At the bottom, the quote unquote white people are afraid of the revelation of the Moorish history and science. Come on, man. You can't be afraid with me. I already know it. I'm sharing it. I read it. I'm able to expound upon it. Like it's the fear is over. There's no need to be in fear. I mean, this is why I wear my fez outright. I don't hide. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like, oh, let me, as Mother Rashida Bey said, Moors did, I got the situation in the bag, Bo. Like they would be hiding their fez or whatever, got all these, wild code names for it, instead of just really just being yourself. Just be yourself, man. And do right. As long as geometry and the north gate of the zodiac live, the Moorish nation also live. Let's never forget, guys. Remember, he said that flag with the star and crescent, or the flag with the moon and star in the center, is that of the living Moorish nation, not the nation of Islam. That's that's kind of under that. You see what I'm saying? Because even when I took my Kalima Shahada 19 years ago, it's going on 20 years. Later on this year, be 20 years ago that I took my Kalima Shahada in the Nation of Islam under the Caliph of Islam, Emmanuel Abdullah Muhammad, at Muhammad's Temple of Islam #1, where they had the Muhammad Speaks newspaper, not the Final Call. That Final Call stuff and Muhammad's Mosque, that's not what was originally brought, as far as someone offshooting from the Moorish Science Temple of America. But when I took my Kalima Shahada there, they brought out a picture of Prophet Noble Drew Ali and said, the Lamb, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, honors Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and so do we. I promise you I didn't get it till 9 years later, when I declared and proclaimed my nationality almost 10 years ago. So it was like, now I see the full circle. So when I'm reading this again for probably like the third handful of times since I've been really into this and really taking my nationality and birthright seriously, and really taking jurisprudence seriously, and taking the universal laws shown in the 12 signs of the zodiac seriously, it's so easy to see these things when they're read. I don't get that, ooh, wow, this is deep, bro, that man, brother. I don't, that doesn't happen inside of me. What happens inside of me is joy in knowing that I really know this and really comprehend it and really look to really have a sincere community where we can thrive and we're not, struggling just to be able to, feed ourselves, or struggling and not sure if we're going to have, solid shelter and things of that nature. Like, guys, we should be way further than where we are. But I get it. A lot of people are still stuck in the falsehood and funding their own social and economic slavery. So let's continue. 1605 Christian calendar year is equivalent to 1025 Moorish calendar years. The Crusade Dutch-German priests, mathematicians added 580 mythical years to the correct Moorish calendar year of 1025. 580 added to 1196 equals 1776. 580 years added to 1283 Moorish calendar year equals 1863. Thus, the head of the living Moorish nation, labeled as Negroes, are referred to as dry bones in the valley, quote unquote. I know y'all done heard that in some of those, other circles. Dry bones in the valley, meaning they are mentally dead for lack of knowledge of truth. And the quote unquote white educators are afraid to teach them the truth. And if the quote unquote white people would attempt to reveal to the mentally dead Moors the truth of their Moorish history, they would rebel against accepting it because they believe the quote unquote white people have taught them the truth. As the result of the mentally dead Moors from the preachers. Let me read that again. And if the quote unquote white people would attempt to reveal to the mentally dead Moors the truth of their Moorish history, they would rebel against accepting it because they believe the quote unquote white people have taught them the truth. And as the result, the mentally dead Moors from the preachers on down to their followers will conceive the thought or idea that the quote unquote white people are endeavoring to trick them. And that's how many copper tone people are out there like, yeah, we ain't Moors, we Indian, and we're gonna wear these feathers. And it's like, sheesh, man. Why don't they just really read? And then it's like, okay, if they read the Clocks of Destiny, right? Clock of Destiny book 1 and Clock of Destiny book 2, who knows if they can accept the truth? They may close the book and turn from it because it doesn't fit their falsehood narrative. It doesn't fit how they are able to sell classes and sell information from Prophet Noble Drew Ali that I've freely given these people. I've had people on TikTok be very disrespectful towards me. And I'm like, bro, you act like I just didn't share a plethora of information with you. And now you're this super great teacher that's selling stuff that I gave you for free. Like, man, it just, that's why I said, when I read the Clocks of Destiny, when I read Clock of Destiny book 1 and book 2, it doesn't surprise me, right? Mother Sahar says, that is so true. Yeah, they gonna think they tricking them. Oh, they trying to trick us, man. Like, okay. No way out. So this tendency have the quote unquote white educators on a no way out spot. It's like you gotta say something. Either way, because it's gonna happen, because the blending back process is underway, and it's continuing to happen. It's going to continue to happen. Therefore, the positions of the great planet Saturn and the radical planet Uranus ruling the north, west, and south gates of the walls of the zodiac, the universe during the next 7 years, that's like what, 1951 to 1958, will arise them from their mental death of ignorance. Man, so why people still ready? There was a rise then. So maybe that's why I am how I am, because I know my progenitor mother was manifest within the last 2 years of that Saturnian transit. So it's like, okay. So even if it, if it is there, the energy's there, but it didn't manifest in her actions, it manifests with mine, as we can see. The universe during the next 7 years will arise them from their mental death of ignorance to a living conscious being, right? To living conscious beings, the head of the Moorish nation. Man, I'm laughing because I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, so that's where I'm at. I'm at being the head of the Moorish nation, not like I'm the only. So no, it's when you're a living conscious being, you're the head of the Moorish nation. You see what I'm saying? Like, you're where you need to be for real. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. You know what I mean? Gratitude to you guys sending your donation. Gratitude. So with that being said, let's continue. The influence of Saturn and Uranus will raise the people from their mental death, whether I myself write it or not, because it has already been written in the universal book of nature, namely the zodiac. I am only expressing it on paper in order that those who read it and thus become redeemed from their mental death of ignorance and thereby rise with intelligence, unity, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, in order that the great economic and social change in the U.S.A. the North Gate, might be brought about more rapidly and peacefully, contrary to the approaching bloodbath owing to ignorance, namely religious, racial, color, and state tradition ignorance. And again, when, because some people are like, I'm not religious, I don't like talking. So when he's saying religious, he's talking about the false doctrine, the dogma. Because when you use truth, you can bind your mind back to the mindset pertaining to your ancient foremothers and forefathers. And that's a type of religion. However, it's not the dogma, the false doctrine, belief system, dogma exercises and practices that have been called religious. Just want to clarify when he's saying it like that, so people are like, see, that's why we're not religious. It's like, hold on, time out. Qualify that word. But again, CM at this time is speaking to a people. If Prophet Noble Ali was speaking to an ignorant people, if Emmanuel bin Baymu Ali, who has been written and constructed U.S. history, which as Benjamin Banneker, even though that's not who he is, but they call him Benjamin Banneker. All three of these beings, Emmanuel bin Baymu Ali, Prophet Noble Ali, CM Bay, and even myself, recognize that there is that all of us have recognized most of the people are ignorant and to a degree illiterate. They might can sound out the words of this book, however, do they comprehend? exactly what's being said. And there's the great majority that will much rather, they will much rather be too cool for school. And I trust that just it happens and stops very soon. Because as you can see, whether it's written or not, these planets are going to do what need to be done. Period. So my Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, we got to do what we got. I'm going to paraphrase, got to do what needs to be done to bring about unity. For that great and awful day is yet to come. And it's actually here. They're really attacking you guys' mentals, especially with all this migrant stuff. You know what I mean? So there's more fear being created. It ain't hate. It's just fear. Again, you see that state tradition ignorance too. That's what I was saying. Using these federal, state, and local statutes and ordinances creates more BS. You know what I mean? People can't really thrive. Continuing. This rapidly approaching tendency has influenced me to write this little book. So let us all learn to live instead of wading like ducks, right? You know, wade in the water. That's what wade is. And it is saying wade in the water, not wait in the water. I know a lot of people probably sung that song thinking it said wait in the water. No, it's wade. All right. So let us learn to live instead of wading in blood up to our necks, endeavoring to outdo the cycle forces of the planet Uranus and Saturn. Joe Stalin and his host are definitely not thinking about coming to take us over, because at that time, that's the fear that was being instilled upon those people in 1951. They were talking about Joseph Stalin, you're going to try to take over America. You know how they do now with China and ooh, boogity boo, migrants, boogity boo. That's what they do now, right? Joe Stalin and his host are definitely not thinking about coming to take us over as you are being taught to believe. The science of the zodiac reveals the great fear of the quote unquote white people of the Union. Let's do this again. The science of the zodiac reveals the great fear of the quote unquote white people of the Union is sexual relationship between quote unquote white women and dark skinned and brown skinned men on a national scale. He was very specific. He didn't say, you know, the dark skin or brown women with the pale skin, quote unquote, white men. He didn't say, whoop. Sheesh. That's why you guys got to really, I hope you guys been going along looking at these presentations, Clock of Destiny Book 1, Clock of Destiny Book 2. I hope you have your own copies of Clock of Destiny Book 1, Clock of Destiny Book 2. Like I have right here. These two right here. That's Book 1 in red, and then the purple is Book 2. Boop, 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 boop. All right. Anyway. Sheesh. Well, the great planet Saturn is bound by a great circle which represents no way out. Even if I did not write it, the great ring around the planet Saturn shall bring about this relation regardless of cost. This is the force to make changes that's being said that even Prophet Noble Drew Ali spoke of. That's why when people be on that, oh, the prophet kicked CM out the temple. I ain't trying. We're not going to say that, because what happened was Prophet Noble Drew Ali was like, yeah, I'm the prophet, and I got to give these elementary lessons. And CM you're going to be, you know, charged with taking the adept chamber even further. That's how I see it. The great planet Saturn recognizes only two different people in the whole of creation, namely female and male, or woman and man. So it don't do that skin color stuff. That's why I know a lot of times you guys heard me say what I say about Moors and copper tone Moors and pale skin Moors, but we're all Moors. And if you ever heard me ever say anything about, nah, that's just not my thing. I ain't with the, because that's just my preference. Even though before I got with my beloved mother mistress consort that I'm with now, there was an Albion daughter fiercely shooting her shot. And for some reason, my spirit just kept immediately going, no. Like, I don't know why. No. Like, it's just how it is. That's just how I am for some reason. I just, was like, nah, I'm good. maybe, I can't say maybe it was out of fear. I just think it's not my preference. Like, I'm good. I'm good. All right. Any Hauser. No disrespect, to our Albion daughters or sons. Honestly, it's always been my preference. I don't know. So any Hauser. In continuing. Yes, Saturn is the schoolmaster of the universe. One race, the human race, and one aim and one destiny, progress and peace. If that ain't enough to let go of your political stuff, then that just means you just really just somebody who is just really deep into the political agenda of keeping beings separated. We got a couple more pages to go here, right? Got this one. And that we're going to stop at origin of the term Mason. So it say 36 at the bottom here, but out of 89 pages is page 80. And then we got 9 more pages, as you guys can see, for next Friday, right? So next Friday, we'll start here. So let's finish these out, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? All right. 5 more pages, y'all. Here we go. We got through 4 2/3 of pages so far. So let's knock out these here. 15 years of unfavorable weather conditions. Man, this is going to happen next year, man. Saturn's going to enter the Northern Hemisphere November 21st of 2025. I know y'all probably heard me say it a few times, but here's the mathematics. Check it out. The influence of the great planet Saturn on the weather conditions in the Northern Hemisphere from 1950 until 1965. For the next 15 years, the planet Saturn will be below the equator in the Southern Hemisphere. Saturn crossed the equator on November 21st in 1950 and will remain south until 1965. This position of Saturn results in falling weather, cold winters, floods, and chilly springs and summers in the Northern Hemisphere until 1965. There will also be numerous earthquakes. The science of astrology, the 12 signs of this. Oh, let's just speak on that real quick. So if you do some math there, right? So when will that happen again? If Saturn does this, goes 360 every 30 years. So from 1950 plus 30, 1980. So that means from 1980, right, to 1995, Saturn's going to be transiting the Southern Hemisphere, right, for 15 years, from 1980 to 1995. Now you go from 1980 to 2010, right? That means in 2010, Saturn entered, Saturn crossed the equator again and transited the Southern Hemisphere from 2010 to 2025. Real simple math. So that means 2025, Saturn's going to cross the equator and then transit for 15 years, transit the Northern Hemisphere. The Northern Hemisphere. All right. So that means there's going to be some falling weather conditions for the Southern Hemisphere. All right. The science of the astrology, I'm going to go back and check when those tsunamis happened. These tsunamis or whatever. I mean, pretty sure a lot of that was south of the equator. And I think that was during the time that Saturn was transiting the Northern Hemisphere. I think about it, yeah. The science of astrology, the 12 signs of the zodiac, is everybody's law. for them to cooperate with the works of nature, and nature cooperates with them, from which spell unity, perfection, and progress. One does not have to belong to church to gain benefit through applying the science of astrology, and neither do they have to employ the mystic God names such as Allah, God, Christ, and Muhammad as their prophet. You really think, oh, gee, that's why the prophet ain't mess with Simbe? I really think the prophet was like, yo, this your mission that you got to do, man. Because these Moors here, they gonna hurt me, man. You see, they chase me around the temple with a knife, so they gonna hurt me. So you got to make sure this gets out. That's how I see it. I see actually who all work together in reforming. At least if it, let's just say, to get to reform me, right? You got CMB looking at Prophet Noble Ali, taking that like, I'm around with this, and then Prophet Noble Ali looking back at like Emmanuel Bembe Muali, right? Looking back at who they call Benjamin Banneker, and it's like all three of them within 236 years or so were able to work together. That's how I look at it, because all what they're doing aligns, and now I'm able to sit here and share it with you. The term nature is not confusing. One does not have to bow in prayer to the supreme law of nature to gain benefit. The only way for one to gain supreme benefit, and even when we do like the Moorish American prayer, again, that in itself, again, is to set the tone. Do we have to do that? Do I have to? No, it does. It's not a have to. It's not. I'm not going to gain favor doing it or not doing it. You know what I'm saying? It's not a determining thing. All we have to do is cooperate with the works of nature, and nature cooperates with us. Period. However, I know that I'm doing it for metaphysical comprehension to help people come out of the dogma belief system. And even recognize that in the Moorish American prayer it says by night and by day, which, look, how do you figure that out? By knowing where the sun is. Flat out, the sun, if you can see the sun, that's day. You can't see the sun and it's below the horizon where you are, guess what? It's night. By night and by day. So Prophet Noble Ali already put a hint of astrology and, to some will call astronomy. And again, I know that astronomy is, how C.M. B.A.R put it, what the dark priesthood used to confuse the masses. However, we also know too that on the positive side, how astronomy can be used to better comprehend the astrology for those that really just get to a point where, like where I'm at now, it's just like, all right, as long as I know, what it means and how certain things are used now, the astrology isn't tough at all. You see what I'm saying? That's just how I see it. You know what I mean? But again, it's just the science of astrology is all we need. Even though I've taken a certified course and within my scholarship program that I went through and been, got a certification for astronomy for astrologers, right? I've gotten that, but it's not taking me away from this, which is my foundation. All right. So again, let's read that. The term nature is not confusing. One does not have to bow in prayer to the supreme law of nature to gain benefit. The only way for one to gain supreme benefit in life is study the works of nature as shown in the 12 signs of the zodiac. Jesus Christ, man. Jesus Christ, it's really just that simple. Gotta really take this zodiac stuff so much more serious, guys. You guys have to. Mother Sahara, yeah, I just read it again. That is so true. I know you been wrote that. I just, for some reason, Spirit had me look down. I was like, that is so true. Just, sheesh. The sign Virgo governs our industries, and organized labor. The sign Virgo, which from the East Coast to about a little past the just a smidge past the Midwest, the sign that's the part that's the Virgo zone. All righty, that is the Virgo zone. Governs our industries and organized labor. The eastern half of the U.S.A. in Canada and West Indies. That's what I just said. The eastern half. All coal mines, medical herb plants and chemistry, and granite rock composed of mica. The eastern half, guys. From like basically Eastern and Central time zones. I think is a little still past, like go a little more west, but most the half plus a little bit more, not much, of the Eastern half, so to speak. Right? Next. Clock of Destiny, 12 signs of the Zodiac, right? Again, see, we're looking at Muhammad again, right? However, this is explained differently in Clock of Destiny Book 2, as you see, as you know, in Clock of Destiny Book 1, it says, this is the Holy Quran. This is Muhammad. Sheesh. Bay, that was 1947 for this particular picture. And that's what's on the cover of this red book too, which is Clock of Destiny Book 1. Even though this is the red book, when you hear Moor say the red book, we're talking about the Mysteries and Silent Brotherhood of the East. But I was just saying this red cover for this particular book. It's Clock of Destiny Book 1. This diagram of the symbol of the earth revolving around the sun has proven that the 12 signs of the zodiac and the natural philosophy of astrology involving human character, intelligence, and action and reaction and human destiny is definitely not a myth. It's not a superstition. As the Christian religious teachers and leaders, including those referred to as Masons and Eastern Stars, have taught the unfortunate masses to believe. You are advised to begin with the sign of Aries and count the lines of the earth in harmony with the rays of the sun and end with the 12 signs Pisces. So if you guys were to like go here and we were to look at Aries, right? Let's just say I get a markup tool real quick, right? I get this markup tool real quick. Boom, turn this red, right? And the lines that he's talking about is, look, there's 1, 2, 3, right? You see the lines? Let me do y'all even more of a solid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? That's 5 right there. Here's 5 right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 10, 11, 12. And that's how it's going to go around. So Aries is hitting. Aries is this portion. Taurus is the next one, right? Gemini is that line, right? Aries, Taurus, Gemini. This is Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, right? You guys got it? That's what he means by you are advised to begin with the sign Aries and count. Right? To begin with the sign Aries and count the lines of the earth in harmony with the rays of the sun and end in the 12 signs Pisces, in the 12 sign Pisces, right? So I trust that me showing you guys that that's what was meant, all right? Here, by reason, you will agree that the zodiac is the universal law and a constitution upon which civilization is founded. Knowledge of the science of the 12 signs of the zodiac is in reality the great password and signs qualification. So you want to talk about, Masonic passwords and all that. That's what he's talking about. This is it. That's it. That's all. And I trust that I've done a great work these 501 videos of sharing information with brothers who are, again, they're still solving their sums. So you guys see me by myself, it's all good. I'm still doing what I'm supposed to be doing while other brothers solve their sums. All right? That's no slight. We just gonna get past anything being said that's ridiculous. All right? We're gonna do what need to be done, period. That's what I'm here to do. That's what I've been doing. People come and ask to be a part of something, and then when they run their time in their season, they got to continue to solve their sums. However, I'm consistent with the natural philosophy pertaining to astrology, involving human character, intelligence, and action and reaction, and human destiny. Period. And that's what I encourage everyone to really get serious about. Here, by reason, you will agree that the zodiac is the universal law and constitution upon which civilization is founded. Knowledge of the science of the 12 signs of the zodiac is in reality the great password and signs qualification. And guess what? You guys didn't have to go be a part of some butt buddy organization or vaginally assaulted, be a part of some 3-letter, 4-letter organization, become a Mason or Eastern Star as way of a lodge. We're sharing here, and I've been sharing, that we are freeborn Master Masons and Eastern Stars and need not to be made over again. I'm not knocking those people who have clandestinely joined these organizations. They give their dues or whatever for whatever reasons, still want to be a part of some form of false doctrine. That's on you guys. Cool, great. What I'm saying is it's not necessary. Unless it's just really a part of some justice you're to undergo for whatever injustice you've done in previous lifetimes. Your belief in doctrine of priesthood religious mythology will definitely not stand up against the illustrated above diagram of the earth and sun electrically connected and reflecting moon-shaped light and darkness, reflecting moon-shaped light and darkness, marking the months or signs during its annual revolution of 360 degrees or days, the zodiac. The above natural 12 signs of the zodiac are referred to in the Bible mythology as the 12 tribes, the 12 jurymans, the 12 disciples, the 12 apostles, and Yaqub or Jacob's ladder of 12 steps. The sun in the center is referred to as Christ. So now you guys are getting the astrological, and remember, been sharing the metaphysics with you so you guys can be free from religious mythology, which is dogma. However, true religion is binding yourself back to the mindset of your ancient foremothers and forefathers so that your days may be long upon the earthland. And what is that? The science, the universal law is shown in the 12 signs of the zodiac. That's what it is. And you don't have to bow down to nature to get benefit from it. You don't have to do dogma practices. The sun in the center is referred to as Christ. And healing the sick. This is why the unvulation came to me to call it 7HealStar. Whether I'm by myself or have people around me, it will always be 7 heal star. Because this is about healing stars. That's who we are. You can see those 7 with your naked eye, right? Sun, moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. See those 7? It's what you can see with your naked eye, right? And now heal oneself. And healing the sick, lame, and the blind, and feeding the multitudes with 5 loaves simply means scientific culture of the 12 signs of the zodiac, which sets one free of priesthood slavery. Mythology fear is mankind's greatest enemy. Indeed, beloved brother. Brother Derek Blash Bay says, yes, great work, Brother Hasan. Gratitude indeed. And Mother Sahar says, indeed. I appreciate you all. Acadia is today Canada, and Scotia, or Nova Scotia, of North Canada, is the original Scotland, the origin of the Irish and the Scots and the Anglia and the Saxons and the Belgians. Scottish Rite clanism, the mystic phrase employed by the Christian master potentate or priests of the Union of 1863 and 1868 are responsible for their followers' ignorance of the applied principles of the universal law and constitution of the zodiac. Which means these people, their followers should know the zodiac, but they don't, because of the master potentate or priests employing mystic phrases. All their followers have is blindfolded secrets, mystic passwords, and mystic phrases laden with heavy dues and taxation. What you think, guys? Just be talking shit about people that go in these lodge situations? Never am I talking shit. Ever. I just recognize that there are many people who have never read this material or taken themselves seriously to take Prophet Noble Drew Ali and CM Bey seriously, which will eventually lead, you get the right information, get the right people that will share things with you because they see that no matter what, you're genuine. It'll lead you back to lead you back to Emmanuel Bembe Ali, falsely called Benjamin Banneker. And you will see the connection between who is called Benjamin Banneker, who is actually Emmanuel Ben Bey Muali. See the connection between him, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and CM Bay. But you got these clandestine people bragging about their 3-letter or 4-letter organization, their Masons and Eastern Stars, when all of those followers, all they have is blindfolded secrets, mystic passwords, and mystic phrases laden with heavy dues or taxation. And again, I've freely shared these degrees and continue to freely share these degrees. Just asking that you donate. It is impossible for the followers of the mystic orders of the U.S.A. to enlighten and elevate falling human, I was supposed to say falling humanly owing, or maybe fallen humanity, owing to their blindfolded obligations to keep their so-called secrets. That's a freeborn Master Mason and Eastern Star talking to these people that think they Masons and Eastern Stars. And again, this is not being mean. Again, he told you, if the truth offends you, close this book. I'm in my 10th year reading this book. Zodiac Constitution, Clock of Destiny, Book 1, Clock of Destiny, Book 2. This is my 10th year in harmony with that which Prophet Noble Drew Ali has provided. So I'm not being someone who's holier than thou. I am your brother. I am your son, and I stand for truth. That's it. What's wrong with knowing the universal law is shown in the 12 signs of the zodiac, geometry, and the numbers 0 through 9? What's wrong? If I can get it, why can't you? Whoever you are. I'm not saying everyone that's watching, because I know there are a lot of you out there that's like, sheesh, I get it now. And you rolling with it. You're showing up to TUPAC on Saturdays. Or you have conversations with me and you know, you express your gratitude that now you can see it clearly. Quote, the blind leading the blind, end quote, which is a universal disgrace against the perfect law of the book of nature. What's that again? The 12 signs of the zodiac. Our boys are paying the price on the battlefields today. He's saying that back in 1951. Sheesh. One's MA, MS, BA, BS, DD, LLD, PhD, and Alpha, Beta, Kappa, Gamma to Omega, especially if their skin is dark brown, means very little to them in a practical manner until they have absorbed the revelation. I choose unvelation. Let's unveil. However, the revelation of the Moorish history and the science of the zodiac as shown in this little book. Jesus, Bruce Lee Christ. Woo! All MDs possess universal knowledge of the zodiac. All MDs, and those with that medical doctorate, right? Doctors, right? Because every part of the zodiac pertains to the body. All MDs possess universal knowledge of the zodiac. All right. The undefeated Moorish Marine Force of North America and in the Pacific Ocean, 1853 at the Golden Gate, California. The Japanese, or Spanish, are the product of the undefeated Moorish Marine Force in the year 1273 Moorish calendar year, which is equivalent to 1853 Crusade Claw, or Christian calendar year. During that era, their skin were dark brown. They also had thick lips and kinky hair. So also the Moors of the modern Hawaii and the Philippines had thick lips and dark skin and kinky hair. The modern Japanese and Philippines and Hawaiians skins are of the golden shade owing to the one-sided relationship between the quote-unquote white men and dark-skinned women. Sheesh. Just wanted to take a break right there so y'all can comprehend that. Sheesh. King Solomon, quote unquote. Number one, King Solomon, quote unquote, is the earth, which contains all of the elements, wealth, and the forces of nature. Thus, the earth is the storehouse, or all of the wealth of creation, which makes it the wisest, quote unquote, man or planet. Man, he's giving you the metaphysics astrologically. Sheesh. So also the human body contains all of the elements of the earth. You sound like the wise man. 2, Hiram Abiff, quote unquote, is the sun, which marks the months, seasons, signs, and the measurement of time and space during the Earth's annual revolution of 360 degrees. The, quote, Grand Master, end quote, is the fall season. October, November, December, which is interesting too, because that's the, if I remember, and I think it's the Scottish, right? The 32nd degree, you get the double-headed eagle as a pendant, because the double-headed eagle, again, is when the sun egresses Virgo and then ingresses Libra. So you had 29 degrees Virgo and ingressing into 0 degrees Libra. It's the double-headed eagle in correspondence with the Sovereign Grand Inspector General, the SGIG, at 32 degrees, going into 33rd degrees pertaining to Masonry within that particular book. And that's within the Masonic Bible. You guys got access to that. You're part of Prophet Noble Drew Ali University. All you got to do is just go to that Google Drive and type in Masonic, and the Masonic Bible should pop up. And it has, in the beginning, before you even get to, the Bible, it's outlining, the positions pertaining to Masonry in certain rites. Doesn't mean that's what you have to be a part of. However, I trust that eventually you'll be able to see that it's really just pertaining to the universal law as shown in the 12 signs of the zodiac. That's it. All right, let's continue. The fatal blow is December 21st or January 1st, when the sun enters the sign Capricorn and ushers in the winter season in the northern hemisphere, right? So when people say Hiram Abiff got the fatal blow to the head or whatever, that's he's giving you that. And you ain't have to, bend over or be sexually assaulted. You better keep this secret, this blindfolded secret. Here, the cold weather strikes its fatal blow to plant life, right? So again, the fatal blow is December 21st or January 1st, when the sun enters the sign Capricorn and ushers in the winter season in the northern hemisphere. Here, the cold weather strikes its fatal blow to plant life. And in mid-February, which we just got past that about 15 days ago or so, the earth evolving or arising from the slumber of the winter season towards the spring season for reviving or resurrection, right? Resurrection of warm weather and plant life. That's it. That's all. You ain't had to give a whole bunch of dues and had to go through some freaky deakiness and secret blood death oath with the blindfold and cable toe. You didn't have to do all that. Just to be a part. Well, I do it for the status of having a group, and I got these brothers and sisters I can go through that used to be a part of the Greek life society. We just read all of that. That means nothing. It means nothing when our goal is progress and peace. Peace and progress. Yeah, you can go and run and tell your favorite Mason. I really don't give a fuck. Like, I don't care. Because 9 times out of 10, people wish they spoke to someone like me before taking that walk. They wish they spoke to someone like me before taking those 22 steps. I'm glad that I got it how I got it. Period. Freely, openly, sincerely. I didn't have to do anything strange to get this information at all. All I had to do was dedicate myself the way I have. I didn't chase the bag. So I guess the only thing that I got is the fact that a whole bunch of finances I didn't, come across in the last 10 years. And I just been basically surviving. Cool, whatever, great. I'm thankful for the donations I've gotten, whether it's, food, clothing, or shelter in some way, shape, or form. Thank you very much. I'm thoroughly appreciative because obviously the universe is looking out for me. And I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon. I don't think this universe is going to stop looking out for me or my loved ones. Because I'm in harmony with the universal law of nature as shown in the 12 signs of the zodiac. And I trust everyone can hear the call and be on this journey with me and my loved ones. Thus, the approaching grip of the spring season against the winter season is referred to as, quote, the strong grip of the lion's paw, end quote. Lion's paw, right? Some do it like this, some do it like this. It's funny too, because I always give these people lion's paw, and I can tell they're like, "Ooh, that's a unique and strong grip, brother." Like, You said the word grip, so I know you know. I mean, handshake, brother. Handshake. I hear you. You already exposed. You know that I know that you know now. But anyway, meaning the spring season has raised plant life from its deathbed of frozen earth to a living perpendicular new life on March 21st or April 1st, the vernal equinox. So funny how he's given that span from the 21st to the 1st. He did it with December 21st to January 1st and then March 21st to April 1st. He's giving that's very Weditas of CM Bay right there, man. If y'all remember, if y'all ain't seen the series that we did in our playlist for Weditas, go and check that out. You'll see it in that Sidereal Weditas Astrolabe and how things go down, man. Anyway. A, the vernal equinox. B, after the Earth has completed its 360 degrees in the 12th sign Pisces and evolves to the first sign Aries, then the mystic names such as Wishful Master, quote unquote, and quote, the ram in the burning bush, end quote, are employed, meaning the heat of the Earth and sun is in the northern hemisphere for 6 months. The period of planting, cultivating, vacation, and return for harvest. I mean, it's so simple. That's it. Queen of Sheba, quote unquote. 3, Queen of Sheba is the 5 great principles of the 12 signs of the zodiac, namely wisdom, understanding, unity, peace, and progress. Wisdom, understanding, unity, peace, and progress. King Solomon's temple is the human body and earth. The human body the real temple, is created by mother from conception to birth in the course of 9 months without the use of nails and the sound of a hammer. Thus, the human body is the temple of good, of mother's grand perfection, referred to in mystery as God. She's the grand architect. Look at that. The Union 1863 tradition of quote unquote white and colored Masons is a universal disgrace, violation of the supreme law of Masonry. You see why so many of these Masons who think they're in a Moor Science Temple of America, think they run a Moor Science Temple of America, will quickly say, oh yeah, the prophet kicked CM out of the temple. A prophet is a thought of a law manifested in flesh. So you saying that prophet within you has kicked CM out of your thinking, out of your body. That's how I hear it. I studied this for real these past 10 years without anybody trying to, finagle it or trying to make me be intimidated to look at it a certain way. Nah, I'm good. I'm good. Origin of the term Mason. The term Mason is derived from womb man son. Woman's son, mother's son, meaning woman and son. Whoa is negative, womb, and man is positive. So he's showing you the level, which is negative. Most people call the level negative, the minus symbol negative, the perpendicular positive. But you put them together, that's the cross. So it's not negative like a bad thing. Whoa is negative, womb, and man is positive, meaning the powers of the womb of female are responsible for the creation of sons in the course of 9 months, which makes women supreme master creators of both female and sons from unformed matter planted by another son of a female, because that female gave him the means to plant that energy. Okay. Phrase together spells womb man sons or woman and sons. Woe was struck out and N was struck out, leaving ma phrased with son, which spells Mason. Mother's son, thus, woman, sons, and child reproduction comprise the great triangle, 3 in 1, of universal supreme creation of humanity. Woman has no father and neither husband, for all male sprung from her. That's why she's considered the widow. Where woman comes from, no one knows. This makes her a widow. I just said that. It's funny. I kind of knew that was coming, but I didn't even really look at that line. I'm just vibing with y'all for real. Some people try to be like, oh, that's just that simp stuff. You just want to call yourself a son. I know what the deal is. I'm mother's son. I can say my beloved mother mistress consort and I'm her beloved son master consort, but in that I still said mother and son within all those other words around mother and son. And for people that aren't civilized, we have to say, yeah, she's my wife, or she'll have to tell them, yeah, I'm her husband. You know what I'm saying? Mother Sar says facts. Indeed. The cross is in reality the positive number 10, which symbolizes X, or that cross, that plus, or the level and the plumb. Level, plumb. Level, plumb, right? perpendicular. Thus, the level, negative, and the plumb, positive, represent the negative and the positive forces of nature, namely female and male, upon which the world took form. That's it. I mean, that's it. I mean, there's nothing else to it. And that's it, actually. I'm actually done. And then we'll come back and we'll finish Clock of Destiny Book 2 next Friday. These final 9 pages from pages 81 to 89. Questions, comments, and/or suggestions, guys. Going once. I'm so thankful and grateful that we have gone over this. I'll make sure I set that page already so I know that's where we're starting. Right? Again, guys, Thursday, coming up, 7th March, 2024 at 6 post-meridian Eastern. That's 1800 Eastern, which is 6 o'clock post-meridian Eastern. Nutrition Fruition. Adjust your time zones accordingly. Make sure you show up. You're in the central, so-called within the central time zone. That's 1700 hours or 5 post-meridian Central. Mountain, I guess that will be 4, 1600 Mountain, which is 4 o'clock post-meridian Mountain, and that's 3 o'clock post-meridian Pacific, or 1500 hours Pacific. Guys, you see the Cash App. It's OurAstrologyStreet. Show up on Thursday, right? Come and see what Mother Sahar has to share. You guys will not be disappointed, all right? Come for the Nutrition Fruition for Thursday. All right, it's Thursday coming. Jen V says, gratitude. Indeed, Jen V. And Robert and Mother Sahar says, sincere gratitude. Gratitude indeed, mothers. Gratitude indeed. I trust that this, when those see this, they really comprehend more what my mind frame is. And I'm glad that this has been able to be shared with you guys. Because I do get that there's a lot of people out there that do not comprehend this. And some of them are my immediate loved ones, my beloved Mother Mistress Consort, she comprehends it very well, to the time. Sometimes I gotta admit, man, my beloved Mother Mistress Consort says some things sometimes. I'd be like, she's really on it. Like, she be on it, son. Like, it just really lets us know that some of our other loved ones just don't want to be civilized. That's the only thing you can boil it down to. When people don't accept the universal law of nature as shown in the 12 signs of the zodiac, and they still want to resort to calling it a belief system of what I'm sharing here and how we think, and they can't see the truth, it's just like they're uncivilized. That's all it is. They're uncivilized. You are not civilized until you comprehend that which we've been reading these past few Fridays, from Clock of Destiny Book 1 to Clock of Destiny Book 2, and what we're actually sharing on Sundays to help bring people out of the dogma belief system, out of the religious mystery mindset, so that they can be on the metaphysics and then see how the metaphysics and the astrology actually will help one to be in perfect harmony with the universal laws of nature as shown in the 12 signs of the zodiac. Brother Derek Blash Bay says, love and respect, gratitude, Hasan. Gratitude indeed, Brother Derek. Gratitude indeed. All right. So want to see you guys there Thursday. It's, it's donation based. There's no number for the donation that was set. It's just, guys, be respectful. You know what I mean? Show love, and I get it. If you got what you got, you're gonna share what you share, and you can do what you do and donate what you can donate. But the Cash App's right there. If it's not Cash App you prefer, you want to prefer something else like Zelle or Apple Pay, just reach out to me, and we can handle that, privately, how we need to handle that. All right, I need to get that exchange. All right. Questions, comments, and or suggestions going twice. Here it is. It is schedule your mirror astro literacy session with Brother Hasan Ghazi Obey. All righty, I look forward to that. That is the main thing. Yes, I do all types of astrological sessions, from love, compatibility, and relationships, for you to map out, your quarters, your 3 months ahead, be able to look at it, do those things. Yes, and that ties in a plethora of things. That's why I say start with the Mirror AstroLiteracy session. And I have it now where it's set up where, we can set you on a time schedule, because I see now I have to do things like doctor's visits. At first I thought people would never have to come to me again. They just have one mirror session, they good for life. I realize now I gotta have people like continuing to see me. And I think now it's at the point where people shouldn't go past 3 months without having a session with me, actually, honestly. I would say that would be the longest that people should go without having a session from me, 3 months. Because I from my experience, I see how much people kind of have to be reminded, especially if they're having to deal with mundane things out there in this uncivilized world. And I can see that sometimes, I'm not excusing people, I can see how it can be taxing on people's mindset at times. So to have that session with me brings them back and it revives them. Because really, this is therapy. And if it could actually, I'm open to having somebody come to me once every 7 days. Honestly, I really don't mind it at all. Because you guys have seen before that you can have your if you got health insurance, you can have them compensate me, because I would be an out of network, provider, so to speak, and that's been shared before when, a querent had used their health, what is it called? It was like a health savings account. You know what I mean? Which is like a trust account for health benefits or whatever. And that way, they, compensate me, then their health insurance reimburses them by using that. I think it's called HSAs, right? Like a health savings account, right? So yeah, schedule your Mirror AstroLiteracy session with Brother Hasan Obey, and everything else when it comes to astrology will blossom therefrom. The Mirror AstroLiteracy session is exactly what it is. It's astroliteracy. It's so that you can be able to be confident in reading the astrology. Even if you don't intend to be an astrologer, at least you have the literacy to comprehend why testimonies are written the way that they're written, pertaining to what's in your natal chart, and then how the transits actually aspect your natal chart. It will make sense by having that Mirror AstroLiteracy session with me. And then you'll be able to really move forward in your life and really take advantage of, blossoming further with a civilized mindset by guiding your steps with the universal law as shown in the 12 signs of the zodiac. All right. Questions, comments, and those suggestions going three sides. This is where I say to you all, be yourselves and donate. All right, you guys know, the Cash App, I just showed it on the screen. That's what will be in the description of this video too. And yeah, guys, don't be upset if you see me, presenting by myself. That's how I started. Like I said, when people got to solve their sums, however they need to solve their sums, they got to solve their sums. All right. But I'm not going to stop doing what I do. Even like I said, after next Sunday, we'll be complete both Clock of Destiny Book 2 and our Holy Quran Devotional Countdown. So I may be doing some things a little differently with 7HealStar as far as when I'm presenting pertaining to astrology and different information. I don't know. Maybe another one of these books need to be shared that's behind me, and maybe that's it. Or I really want to. It's other things I'm thinking about though. I'm just just putting things out there, right? Always open for suggestions too. I'm going to do the invocation out. All righty. Turn to Moorish American prayer. right? Even though I know I just read, we don't need to bow down to nature to get its benefit. However, again, this is done so that people will be able to go to the metaphysics. All righty. We didn't do, 500 and now 2 videos for nothing. You know what I mean? I haven't been hosting this to take place for nothing. I trust people will go back and look at everything that's ever been shared and eventually get to this mind frame and mindset like, yo, wow, 500 some odd videos later, I really get it. I see what needs to be done. So it is what it is, right? We want to extend all 5 appendages on the left hand, just the index and middle on the right, and we'll stand just like this with our feet on a 45-degree angle as we face east, which metaphysically denotes within. And you can repeat after me either aloud or in ye hearts. Islam, Allah, the Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day. Through his holy prophet, noble Drew Ali. Ameen. All righty, guys. Thank you all so much for joining me. I appreciate you all. Would like for you all to, when you go to get your victuals, you go to eat, make sure you eat good. Affirm health and wealth for yourself. Speak over your food and affirming that health and wealth. And again, join us Thursday, speaking of health, right, and wealth, Nutrition Fruition. Join us Thursday, 7th March, 2024 at 6 o'clock post-meridian Eastern. Adjust your time zones accordingly. And come and sit at Mother Sahara's feet as she shares via Zoom, as you guys see. And just, when you send the Cash App or however you donate or want to be a part of it, just let me know what your email is. Or if I know you and I have your number, I can send it that way. Either way, we'll make sure you have the Zoom link so you can join. Just, donate, guys. Be honorable and donate, all right? So when you go to rest and recharge, guys, make sure you rest and recharge well. I appreciate you all. I love you all. This is where I say namaste, namaste, namaste. Islam, 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 y'all. Peace and love. Peace.